paved the way to civilization. Fire, also one of the most destructive forces on Earth. It's a little known fact, but statistics show that worldwide a serious burn occurs once every few seconds. Most occur in the home, and young children are often the unhappy victims.
What was that, Dad?
Oh, not now, Danny. Go and play with your sister.
With an injury of this nature, fighting against time is the biggest battle. Without proper care, each moment means that the burn can become more severe, even critical. But now, scientific advancement has introduced one of the most remarkable products to counteract the dangerous effect of burns and scalding. Burnshield, containing a viscous water-based gel developed to cool, soothe, and protect burn victims.
If I cover my finger with this gel, I can hold a flame under it for a long time, and I can actually feel nothing. Truly remarkable.
Eleanor, that's rather a mild test. Let's subject you to a blowtorch.
All right. Now, Matt, a blowtorch reaches temperatures of something like 1,000 degrees Celsius.
1,150 degrees C.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
Don't worry, feel confident about it. You won't feel a thing behind this
That
blanket.
is amazing. I feel absolutely nothing.
The remarkable cooling properties of Burnshield are further revealed in this demonstration. First, the metal stem of the thermometer is heated to a temperature of 200 degrees Celsius. At this high temperature, a segment of Burnshield blanket is placed over the hot stem. Cooling is immediate. In fact, even when the 1,100 degrees Celsius blowtorch flame is reapplied to the stem, the gel-impregnated blanket continues to shield, and the temperature, amazingly, keeps dropping. Burnshield, one of the few substances available that actually absorbs and dissipates the heat from the burn. A unique combination of water and plant extracts, it is clear that Burnshield is a must for the primary care of burn victims. If it's not immediately at hand, a burn's severity can rapidly deteriorate.
I'm coming now.
Hot on the heels of the home, industrial and commercial enterprises are at next greatest risk. Although the incidence of fire may be lower, the implications are often more severe. Here, burns can be devastating. They can disfigure for life. Trapped in a burning building, where the escape route is often only through intense heat and smoke, people need shielding from the destructive effect of fire. To protect and aid victims, a specifically designed wool blanket has been developed as a joint technology transfer by the Wool Board and the Textile Technology Division of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. Natural flame resistance is one of the properties that gives wool its major advantage over other textiles. This, combined with its ability to absorb water, makes wool the perfect fiber to be used for fire protection. This fire-resistant woven wool blanket thus serves as an excellent protective shield for persons trapped by fire. The blanket can contain up to 14 times its own mass in gel. When infused with the hydrogel, this phenomenal cellular wool blanket permits courageous feats through killer corridors of fire. It appears that even the near impossible can now be achieved.
Yeah. You okay? I'm okay, thank you. It was quite hot inside, but it's quite comfortable.
Based on practical demonstrations of the product, indications are that survival time is extended substantially. Strategically sited in accessible places, the sterile hydrogel blanket can be used by victims trapped in a fire. With it, they can emerge from areas which suddenly transform into a raging furnace. Apart from shielding the heat, it also traps cool air under the blanket. By providing a reserve of air, there is less likelihood of smoke inhalation.
The greatest cause of death in burns is due to smoke inhalation and asphyxia. If one throws a Burnshield blanket over oneself and a child or something like that, you are first of all entrapping cool air inside that micro-environment. It's going to give you the ability to run through the fire and get out. So in terms of doing that, it's life-saving. There's nothing at the moment anywhere in the world that does that except the fireman on the outside trying to come and fetch you.
Dr. Kramer, your opinion of Burnshield?
The treatment of burns has always been, in heat burns, to cool the burn down. And in the emergency setting, because there's been nothing available in a medical point of view, people have just been told, put on water and cool it down, and keep on cooling it down. Burnshield gives us the ability to use a solidified form of water, put it on the burn, and that's all you need to do, because then the Burnshield actually keeps on drawing out the heat. So it's a substance which I hope is going to revolutionize what people can actually do in their homes and wherever they're going to be burnt.
Which features of Burnshield do you consider important from the patient's point of view?
We need to cool a burn down. We need to keep it cooled. We need to protect it from whatever is inside the dressing from getting out, such as fluids. We don't want the patient to dehydrate because you've lost a protection to the skin. And you want to prevent it, anything that is on the outside that shouldn't be getting in, such as bacteria. Now, Burnshield, particularly in the way that it has its dressings, does that. It cools the burn down. It prevents any fluid being lost from the body. It prevents any bacteria getting into the body. And that's probably the most important features of any emergency treatment of a burn.
Where should Burnshield be used?
The greatest majority of burns are in the home. So as every home should have a fire extinguisher, as every picnic should have these kind of features, so there should be Burnshield as well. Burns happen in the kitchen, so it should be in the kitchen. Burns are going to happen at a braflace, it should be at a braflace. They should be at camping areas. They should be anywhere where somebody gets burnt. And unfortunately, that happens every day all over the country.
My mother used to use butter for my burns. Is that absolutely out now?
Butters and lotions and potions have a problem in that, first of all, they can contain the environment and make the actual burn worse. Second of all, when you then get to the hospital and you want to treat the patient, you don't know what's going on. You cannot decide on the depth of the burn because you've got butter all over the place. Now you have to remove the butter to get medication on. And it becomes now a very painful process and a very difficult process to now remove the butter and the margarine and the oil so you can get to the patient.
In a kitchen emergency, for example, the blanket, when applied correctly, starves the fire of oxygen. As a result, Burnshield is highly efficient and effective in immediately extinguishing the flames. Minimum mess, no powder residue to clean up afterwards. Placed from head to toe, the blanket extinguishes the flames, dissipates the heat, and provides the all-important emergency care for the victim. By cooling the burnt areas, trauma is reduced and further skin damage minimized. Where dangerous substances may prove threatening, Burnshield shields. If essential switches or valves risk aggravating the fire, Burnshield permits access. Where time is needed to remove a victim, Burnshield enables approach and protects the victim.
Dawn, what are the advantages of Burnshield for you?
It affords a patient instant relief from pain. It's sterile and it's very easy to use.
Do you feel that Burnshield should be standard equipment, for example, in factories?
I very much do, because burns are the most horrific of all injuries and requiring the most amount of rehabilitation, pain, and the possibility of infection and death.
Do you feel it's important, for example, in the home?
Absolutely. After all, most of accidents happen in the home. It's no good going to get Burnshield after the event. You should have it in the home all the time.
You say it's easy to use. Can you show us?
Yes, certainly. This seal keeps the integrity sterility, integrity, and very easy. Break the plastic.
Now this you would carry with you?
Yes.
All the time?
And it comes in all different sizes, so the application will dictate the size. And it's just a matter of draping it around a patient into all of his nooks and crannies where the burns are and all the different sizes. Instant relief.
A necessary item in any emergency response vehicle. But if Burnshield sterile dressings are applied immediately, they provide the necessary primary care to absorb the heat from the burn. One of Burnshield's major benefits is that it does not adhere to the wound. Once removed, the residue of the water-based gel can easily be rinsed off if necessary. Innovative packaging of Burnshield means that the dressing can be used within the packaging itself.
Danny, Mrs. Wilson, what's wrong?
He's burnt himself very badly with a pot of boiling hot water.
Oh, let me take a look. What did you do?
Nothing, I just put this dressing on. It was in a white packet.
Is it so? Okay, this won't hurt. I just want to have a look. It's Burnshield.
That's the one.
Good. With Burnshield, Danny's burns have been arrested. You see, with this dressing, the heat was immediately drawn out of the burn and primary care was administered from the start.
So you mean the damage has been minimized?
Without it, Danny would have suffered enormous trauma and his burns would have been very severe.
The Burnshield utility pack carries a variety of sizes for the primary care of burns. These can be utilized in cases of gas and steam burns, as well as scalds, flame and electrical burns. For maximum protection, choose Burnshield. Sterile, heat shielding, smoke protection, extinguishes the flames, cools and soothes the victim, shock reduction, and reduces risk of secondary contamination. Burnshield. Is it worth being unprepared?